remember, rules that require rest time for pilots, larger or maybe longer than what is currently the norm, but also putting it at baseline and at the same level as any international flight as well. Now, Indigo's operational flights were increased, but the airline did not staff up, and the numbers didn't add up. November saw modest cancellations, but by early December, the mismatch exploded into a full-blown meltdown. Hundreds of flights that have been cancelled on every single day of December, and as per the new DGCA order, Indigo will lose over 100 daily flights. This is not even matching with the number they were at before the winter schedule, by the way. But remember, even after what seems like a cutback in flight numbers, Indigo still remains net positive compared to its summer because the airline was gifted a larger schedule than it could handle in the first place. Who gave that clearance? That's the question we've been asking here on the program. Also, what's being sold as a punishment at this point? Is it really one, or is it a easy sort of just a pacifying move that has been taken by the government to ensure that people stay calm, questions are not asked? At most, a correction, one can call it, after an over-optimistic expansion that set the stage for this crisis. Amit Bharadwaj joins us for the very latest on this. Amit, it's been crystal clear from day one that Indigo was arm twisting its way into operating the flights and giving, running on rules that they wanted, that were profitable for Indigo, profitable not for people like you and me who fly on these flights, profitable certainly not for the pilots who are fatigued and who urged for this marker or this rest time to be increased as well. Now, if you compare the 5% cut at this point, what is the rationale that the MOCA, that is the Ministry of Civil Aviation, is actually saying? Why did it stop at just 5%? Why haven't they cut off the entire winter schedule, which was higher?
Sonal, very interestingly, a few days back when I had met Ram Mohan Naidu, the Civil Aviation's Minister, I had asked him a very specific question. If you were, you understood that Indigo did not have enough pilots to run its regular affairs, regular planned flights, why give them a winter schedule increment? And if that decision was taken, whether action will be taken against the DGCA officials who actually gave that increment or not, to which he said that we will investigate this matter. And eventually, a few days later, you have a situation where 5% cut has been done. Today, there's a crucial meeting to happen this evening as well, where several of the operators will be called, redistribution will be done. But Indigo themselves also wanted to reduce the flights in order to be in a situation where they can actually sail through their ship. Sonal.
All right. I also want to understand, Amit, from you, yesterday the deadline had been set by Indigo to file a reply with DGCA. The reply that you have also flagged off is laughable, to say the least. It's a very generic statement that has been given out that this is what happened, that's why the cancellations took place. What is the status of the inquiry that the government said they will form, that a committee will sit upon and look into, an independent body really look into what happened? What is the status on that?
Well, there are three fronts essentially, Sonal, which is working right now. First of all, the show cause notice that was issued by the FSD Director Operations RS Jamwal. So Indigo had responded, the CEO of Indigo as well as the COO, the Chief Operating Officer of Indigo, who is also the accountable manager for the this airline operator. That issue is one where the action could be actually recommended by RS Jamwal, if at all. The number two is that formation of the high-level committee, which has 4 members. That committee has summoned the top officials of the Indigo, including the CEO and the COO, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Along with this, the ministry is also holding high-level meetings with their senior officials to actually see whether Indigo is able to handle the passenger load right now.
All right. Amit, hold on to that thought. We're getting some more updates. I'll come right back to you. Just hold on. All right, news coming in on the very latest in the Goa fire tragedy. We are getting those visuals live on your screen right now, where bulldozers have been sent off and they seem to be at work at the Luthra's Vagator Club. Now, bulldozer action at the Burke nightclub is what we are witnessing live on our screens at the moment. The backdrop to this, we all know that 25 people lost their life. 25 people, like I said, have lost their lives. Several others injured in the fire that took place at that club. My colleague Devesh joins us for the very latest on this. Devesh, we're looking at visuals where a JCB has gone inside. It's pulling apart the club quite literally over here, taking the infrastructure down as well. What is the strategy here by the government?
Well, I would like to point out that it was India Today television that first brought to light yesterday that this Romeo Lane club, another club of the Luthra brothers located at the Vagator beach, had been constructed illegally. There was a demolition order issued by the Bombay High Court, but despite that, this club hadn't been demolished and it was functioning till Sunday when the incident at the Birch nightclub of Luthra brothers at Arpora had happened. It had claimed 25 lives, and this story was highlighted, brought to light by India Today yesterday itself, and today you can see that demolition action has been initiated by the Goan government, by the Goa Tourism Department. Remember, this illegal construction has been done on land belonging to the Goa Tourism Department, and despite illegally grabbing government land, constructing a club on wooden planks on the beach of Vagator at Goa, this club functioned for good 5 years. Who was protecting the Luthra brothers? Who was preventing action against their clubs? This club had been was operational till Sunday. Remember, Saturday night, fire engulfed the Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub at Arpora. 25 lives were lost, several others severely injured, but this club was functioning till Sunday afternoon, and now after India Today highlighted this illegal construction by the same prime accused, the Luthra brothers, the illegal construction is being demolished by the Goa Tourism Department. So what was the Tourism Department doing?
Yeah, but Devesh, I have a question here. I want to understand that the clearance as well. The clearance for the club also came from the government, is that correct? You've also been reporting that earlier there was some sort of objection posed by the Panchayat, but the club did go on to get some clearance from the government. So the government is going on to bring it down on a clearance that they had only provided. Am I to understand that right?
Well, see, this particular nightclub was located at Vagator. Similarly, like the Birch nightclub, where the fire took place, where the fire tragedy happened, this club was also, you can see it has been constructed on wooden planks on the beach itself. It has been constructed on the Vagator beach. I would ask my camera person to pan and show that the complete construction is of wood. It has been erected on wood, illegally erected on wood on the beach, which is not allowed. And it is a land belonging to the Goa Tourism Department. So how are they functioning? Who was protecting them? Who was not allowing, despite a Bombay High Court Goa bench order to carry out demolition on this property? There are activists who had complained to several authorities of the Goa government, but the action had not been taken. There was no action being taken. Who was protecting the Luthra brothers? Who was protecting their clubs, illegal clubs in Goa? That also needs to be investigated. But here, a day after the India Today report, you can see the action has begun, and Goa government has initiated this demolition action. Right now, the demolition is going on the illegally constructed parts, which is on the beach of Vagator. This is a Goa tourism land.
Devesh, two questions. Devesh, I want to come to you with two questions. Number one, how many more such clubs exist in Goa that are owned by the same Luthra brothers? And number two, I want to understand, do we have any idea from police on where the Luthra brothers are? Everybody by now knows the airline they took and where they landed. But despite that information, do we have any knowledge of where in Phuket are they, or have they gone somewhere else? Have the police managed to get any leads on them?
Well, regarding the first question, there are there were 5 such properties owned by the Luthra brothers in Goa, of which 3 were nightclubs, 1 was a restaurant and 1 a cafe. So 3 nightclubs was there. One was Birch by Romeo Lane, where the fire tragedy happened. Second is this one, Romeo Lane, which is a bigger property, much bigger than the Birch property. This is a much bigger property. It starts from the hilltop and comes down till the beach, and it has been constructed illegally. For the second question that you asked, that any idea regarding where the Luthra brothers are presently. So IG Varsha Sharma from Goa Police just briefed media about it, and she said that police is taking all possible action, all possible channels are being used so that the Luthra brothers could be traced in Thailand. They were in Thailand, they landed in Thailand, and authorities are in touch with the Interpol through the CBI, which is the Apex Investigation Agency. Interpol has been alerted. A blue corner notice has already been issued to trace and get details of the Luthra brothers on where are they located. And a while ago we spoke to senior topmost official of the Goa Police and checked regarding if the Luthra brothers were detained in Thailand, but that is not true. That was told to us that was not true. Attempts were being made to trace them, and further with the help of Thailand authorities and further with the help of Interpol, they could be brought back, they can be brought back, and attempts are being made to detain and bring them back to the country so that they could face law, they could face justice for the death of 25 innocent citizens. Remember, 23 of them died in the basement because they suffocated to death. 2 of them charred to death. Who was responsible for death of
Who's
these
responsible
25%?
for that? Devesh, also I'm thinking we are just nearing the Christmas season. We are nearing New Year's as well. This is the time when Goa is most busy, when all flights are expensive, clubs are booked, hotels are booked as well. A lot of India's elite go to Goa to party. This entire tragedy, has that taken a toll on the mood in Goa? And what are restaurateurs, others, really telling you at this point?
Well, yes, this is the season where a lot of tourists come to Goa, and Goa is already seeing a surge in number of tourists who have come to Goa for holidays. It is the year end, many more tourists are going to come. But now the Goan government has emphasized that there will be regular checks. There will be checks that will be conducted in each and every nightclub. Audits will be done. Fire safety audits will be carried out so that no such incidents happen in future where innocent people lose their lives. So all precautions are being taken, but let's see for how long this action continues. So we need to wait and watch what the Goa government does in near future. Like this, the tragedy has just happened. It was just 2 days back that 25 people have lost their lives. But we need to wait and check on what Goa government does. Just like, will it be regular practice? Will it be a regular practice? Regular audits will be done. Regular safety audits will be done. Whether permits will be checked, whether the permissions will be checked. Because
Devesh, whether the inquiry will find out that who allowed construction like this to happen from within the government as well. As you and I both know, any illegal construction of this magnitude, of multiple locations, multiple restaurants, clubs, etc., doesn't take place in a silo. It always is hand in glove with somebody in a position to power who's managed to sanction it off. And for Goa government, where a lot of their economy depends on tourism, one would like to believe that they're taking this issue seriously and will get to the bottom of the matter.
Well, exactly. Who was the person, who was the high and mighty person that was protecting these Luthra brothers. Also, there have been allegations that even if the local police wanted to take action, they had initiated action, but they were stopped. So who are these high and mighty people who were protecting these Luthra brothers and who were protecting their business interests, who were protecting their illegal clubs in Goa, constructed on illegal land, without fire safety permission, without fire safety audit, without any kind of permits, without any kind of norm being followed? These clubs were functioning, people frequented these clubs, and it was just a ticking time bomb. Even this club was a ticking time bomb constructed out of wood, cane and jute. If a fire erupted at this place, it cannot be stopped. Like, there is no fire safety precaution being taken. Now illegal construction has been done. Various rules have been flouted. Coastal regulatory rules have been flouted. The CRZ norms have been flouted. So despite that, this club functioned for 5 years. How was this possible? And at a beach which is very prominent, which is frequented by foreign tourists as well, how did this club come up? Wasn't it noticed by the local panchayat? Wasn't it noticed by the local police? Wasn't it noticed by the government authorities of the tourism department that their land was being usurped and club had come up on their land? So what was being done? Why did they turn a blind eye to it? Why were the authorities turning blind eye towards Luthra brothers' business interests and allowing them to function in a way which could endanger life and personal safety of others? People paid for visits to these clubs and they were endangering their lives. Imagine this complete club has been erected on wooden planks, nailed with joints, and just a strike with the earth mover and it has come down. Imagine if it was full, if there was heavy footfall, what could happen? This was a ticking time bomb. There was another tragedy waiting to happen, and that is why activists had flagged it with authorities. But there was no action then. Now action is happening after 25 lives have been lost. Over to you.
Action, but this is like a band-aid solution, right? You go after one person, you go after one such restaurant chains. What about the others? Where is the audit report? If you'll remember, after the Upahar tragedy that happened in the national capital several decades ago, there were new laws that were set out in the country on what fire safety will entail for any entertainment place. Clearly, those laws have been flouted, but one wonders if this is the only club or there are others also in the radar. Do you have a sense from the government on what they're doing about the other clubs? Like we said, this is peak season in Goa. You can only expect more people if they're not deterred by the news, of course. Are there any preparations being done outside as well, apart from what we are seeing behind you?
Well, yes, there are many. Government of Goa needs to work on this, needs to work and carry out a detailed audit of all the clubs that are located across Goa, of all those clubs that are located across Goa, so that no such incidents happen, no such tragedies happen, and people's lives are not lost. People who had come for to enjoy their evening, people who had come to enjoy their evening at the club lost their lives to a fire that erupted because of fireworks being used by the club management. They had used flammable material, and that flammable material led to became a death trap for 25 people. It became a death trap for 25 people who had come, like many of them were workers, many of them were employees of the club who lost their lives. There were four tourists who lost their lives because of some person who was trying to make a quick buck out of these illegal settlements, out of these illegal business interests, which had no permissions, which had no government permits, which had no permission from the panchayat or the town and country planning department, no trade license at all. But despite that, they had been functioning for years together. For years, they had been flouting noise pollution norms. the pollution board norms, the coastal regulatory norms, trade license norms, all those norms were flouted. They were not followed at all. But despite that, now this action is happening after 25 lives have been lost. Over to you.
You know, if I can be candid about this, we all know that in India, if you go on to check permits of one place, it will be hard to find a place which is fully proofed, right? Which has all permits in place. That's just how we operate. If you go and find something, you will find a flaw. This is an open sort of secret of sorts that there are always, flouting of norms that takes place. But again, I'm coming back to that point. What is the plan of action that government has in mind? Are they putting any sort of certificates to be put out right at the entry of these clubs to boost confidence of people who are going inside? Is there an audit that has been ordered? Is there an independent inquiry that is taking place on this issue? Because right now these are very dramatic pictures, but like he said, this is getting after one person. This is also going behind one particular chain of restaurants. What about others that might exist and we don't know about?
Well, exactly, you rightly pointed out. What about the others? Now, Luthra brothers have erected these. Luthra brothers have illegally created these clubs. They did not wait for permissions. They did not wait for any kind of permits, and they just erected these clubs. It is not possible for a layman to do that. It is not possible for an ordinary person to do that. They did have some kind of influence, some kind of protection from some person who was high and mighty and who was protecting them. And that is why no action has been taken. You put a brick at your place and the municipal authorities come running to your place asking you to remove that brick, or they'll demolish the complete wall. Or they'll demolish the complete wall. That is the condition. In civic bodies across the country, if an ordinary person puts one illegal brick, one brick, additional brick to his wall, the complete wall will be demolished by the civic authorities. But here a full-fledged club comes up which is hosting 200 to 300 patrons every evening. But there are no questions being asked. When activists pointed out to these illegalities, irregularities, they were threatened. Activists approached police, approached Goa government, approached senior officials, but no action was taken. Was it possible in case of an ordinary person? Was it possible in case of a layman? No, that won't be possible. But for Luthra brothers, they had a red carpet, and that is why not one or two, they had created 5 business entities in Goa itself, and they would be here once in a month or twice in a month to oversee the functioning of the club. But they had multiple clubs operating across India, and of which 5 were in Goa itself. How was this possible? This brings to a question that how was this possible? The person residing in Delhi, coming to Goa just for a day or two, and his club runs smoothly, a completely illegal club runs smoothly without any problems from the authorities, without any questions being asked, without any penal action being taken against them.
Got it.
Only after the...
Devesh, we'll come back to you to get more of those dramatic pictures that are coming in. For viewers who are just tuning in, let me just give you a very quick sort of brief here. If you're tuning in right now, these are pictures coming from outside the Romeo Club. It's owned by the same people who owned the club, where 25 people lost their lives because the fire safety norms were not in place. Well, as a fallout of that, the owners are on the run, but demolition taking place at the other side. Quick break, back in a moment.
आपकी रक्षा के लिए और ये आपकी रक्षा के लिए।
अरे ये क्या है?
ये आपकी रक्षा के लिए और ये घर की रक्षा के लिए।
न जले न पिघले, घर घर को सेफ बनाएं। अपार अणुशक्ति फायर प्रोटेक्ट वायर।
President Putin's arrival in India, a high-stakes moment in global geopolitics. As global alignments shift, his visit comes at a pivotal time for India-Russia relations. India Today magazine brings an exclusive conversation with President Putin on the changing global landscape, India's growing role in the global south, and the rise of new international forums. Catch the full interview in the latest issue of India Today, Making Sense of India. Subscribe now. Subscriptions.intoday.in. Also available on Amazon and Blinkit.
पचास साल के बाद वंदे मातरम 100 साल का हुआ। सबको था कि 100 साल मनाए जाएंगे, 100 साल मनाए जाएंगे, मगर 100 साल हुआ तब वंदे मातरम का महिमा मंडन का सवाल ही नहीं था, क्योंकि वंदे मातरम बोलने वाले जो सारे लोग थे उनको इंदिरा जी ने जेल में बंद कर दिया। इस देश में आपातकाल लगाया गया, आपातकाल लगाया गया। विपक्ष के लाखों लोगों को, लाखों समाज सेवियों को, स्वयंसेवी संगठन के लोगों को जेल में भर दिया गया। कोई कारण के बगैर अखबारों पर ताले लगा दिए गए, यहां तक कि आकाशवाणी में उस वक्त एक ही माध्यम था, आकाशवाणी में किशोर कुमार की आवाज ही नहीं आती थी, ड्यूएट गाने भी लता जी की आवाज में ही आते थे। मान्यवर, पूरे देश को जब वंदे मातरम 100 साल का हुआ, पूरे देश को बंदी बनाकर रख दिया।
All right, it's almost 5:40 p.m. and you are maybe just wrapping up at your workplace as well, gearing up to brave that long, exhausting bumper-to-bumper crawl back home. But before you take that very familiar, painful traffic road to your house back, factor this. A new 5-year study says that your evening commute is delivering the worst lung damage of the entire year. That's right, not the winter smog, not crop burning season, but your daily almost 5:30 to 8:30 and then beyond drive home is the one that's causing maximum damage to your body. Now, how did the researchers find this study? Now, they found that evening commuters inhale about 40% more PM2.5 and 23% more PM10 than, say, the morning travelers. And remember, the smallest particles, PM2.5 and below, are the most dangerous of all. It does permanent damage, it enters your blood veins. I mean, there's just no going back from there. They slip deep into the lungs, enter the bloodstream, fuel heart diseases, strokes, cancers. And here's the terrifying part. They can stay in your body for years. Air pollution, remember, also accounted for 15% of all deaths in Delhi last year. And this study shows that the evening commute of Delhiites has been a major driver of that health burden as well. Yes, wearing masks helps. Portable air purifiers, they also help. But these are stopgap arrangements, band-aids on a gaping wound. The capital's real need at the moment, or perhaps 60% of the country's real need at the moment, is urgent, sustained action to cut vehicular emissions. Because if that simple act of going home is becoming a daily assault on your body, on your lungs, what more evidence do we really need to finally treat this like a health emergency that it is? But talking about, being in the car in the evenings, which I'm sure a lot of us, our viewers, are going to be in as we speak, we found out that there is a way to keep you safe inside your car. We also, like we keep saying on the program, offer solutions as well. So this is one such solution to tell you how, if you have no option but to be stuck in one of those cars over there in traffic for almost 2 to 3 hours every day, what can you do with your car? And even if you're taking a cab, what precautions can you take? Take a look.
By now, if you've been listening to the experts and not just the internet, you already know that vehicular pollution is the leading cause of toxic air in Delhi and in other metros as well. But most of us do this. We get inside our cars and we take off our mask, thinking that somehow pollution won't get inside. In this video, we are going to tell you why that's not the case and why air purification inside your car, in which you spend 2 to 4 hours sometimes in a day, is perhaps the most underrated issue in urban India. First up, understand that exhaust fumes like NO2, carbon monoxide and fine particles from other cars, trucks and buses all around you enter your car. A simple window does not block it. Your car is not airtight. The goal is to make it airtight for purification to happen. Let's get into how. The first thing, to make your car airtight and thus air purified, you have to ensure that the car air circulation button is on. Let's show you where that is. It's this little thing right here. If you press it, then the air inside the car keeps circulating and it blocks any outside air from entering. This is a simple tool, especially for those who are taking cabs. Number 2, most common cars have built-in clean air option. But remember, they were not designed for AQI going up to 800 to 1000. They do not, in most cases, filter PM2.5 or PM1. So what you have to ensure is that your car has a HEPA filter 13 or anything above. Without HEPA filter 13 or above, your PM2.5, PM1 do not get blocked and it's not giving you clean air. Now, if your car does not have an inbuilt HEPA 13 or anything above, what you need is an attachment or an external air purifier to be added to your car. But remember, these are small devices. Don't look for a cheap one and a small one. It has to match the capacity and the volume of the car. The cabin size has to match your air purifier. Match those details before buying. If all of this is too much for you, too many gadgets, or you're perhaps one of those who's constantly in and out of cabs, your best friend still is the very cheap and affordable N95 or N99 mask. But that's as long as you remember to wear it.
All right, a quick sort of a disclaimer over there. You want to make your car airtight, but not in the long run, because that can lead to a lot of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide sort of being inside the car, trapping, and it can take away lives as well. This is for that period where you are stuck in traffic and you don't want combustion to enter. So remember that and do. The reality of the times we stay in, we have to get air purifiers for your car if you can. Let me welcome our guest at this point. Joining me is Mr. Devabhakti Tuni. He's engineering and public health researcher. Also with me is Dr. M. Wali. Dr. Sri Krishna, let me sort of come to you first. I want to understand the entire concept of evening pollution being higher than morning hours. Because the same number of people are actually on the road, right? The same number of cars as well. Is it the concentration of a particular time period that is causing it? Is it the temperature? Is it the time of the day? What's leading to more air pollution in the evening hours compared to the rest of the day?
That's an excellent question, and I think all of those factors are definitely playing a role. I would not venture to say that we know for sure what the reason is, but certainly the weather and the concentration of at the rush hour time is the biggest factor.
All right, rush hour time is a factor. Yeah, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and that will, when all the cars are on the road and, there's so much emissions, it's going to cause a significant increase in the overall concentration. And so that is actually a big factor.
Right. We just played out a report as well to sort of showcase to people what they can do. Do you think there are other ways in which one can stay safe in the car? Because if you live in an Indian metro, you don't have an option. The connectivity through public transport isn't that good that everybody can jump on a metro or a bus or a cab, right? And not everybody carpools because last mile connectivity, again, isn't so great. So in a situation like this, what do you recommend people do apart from, of course, stay at home and work from home?
Yeah, I think you did a really good job of explaining the different options. The mask is certainly the first line of defense, but you cannot always wear the mask. A good mask, an N95 mask with the head straps is very important to keep a seal. And the second thing I think you mentioned is the recirculating the air that works for short periods of time. And so putting it on recirculation reduces the amount of air that's coming in. But it doesn't make that much a difference unless you actually filter the air. So you need to clean the air that's inside the cabin. And so think of the cabin as about 100 to 200 cubic feet volume, and you need to once we close the windows, there will be some leak that'll come in. Even when you press recirculate, there'll still be some particles leaking in, maybe less than you turn it off. And so the same thing happens on airplanes as well. They have leaks. And so on airplanes, the way they solve this problem is it's called bleed air on airplanes, and they basically they recirculate the air and they have HEPA filters running at 12 air changes per hour. So that 12 air changes per hour, I measured this on 3 different wide-body jets, and what it does is it rapidly reduces the particle counts that are in the confined area. And to replicate that, you would need about 20 to 40 cubic feet per minute of clean airflow from that's in metric units. That's about 30 to 60 cubic meters per hour. And to get that, you could use battery-powered air purifiers like this. You probably need about 2 or 3 of these things for a small compact car, or maybe you need proportional to the volume. But you basically have to add those to the interior of the car. On full speed.
But my problem with the car air purifiers is that a lot of times they don't display the AQI number. So you don't really know when it's going up or down because they're small in quantity, and also, you know, a lot of them that you get on, say, a lot of these quick commerce websites are not really reliable. They don't really have HEPA 13, which is the requirement at this point. But let me bring in Dr. Wali at this point. Dr. Wali, who would have thought that first you need an air purifier for your house, then you need one for your office, then in those 2 hours of horrid traffic that you need one there as well. We should all just put on a mask, I think, and just put, align ourselves with an oxygen machine, because that's the only way. There doesn't seem to be any escape from this air pollution. Like I keep saying, these are just band-aid solutions. Aren't you like fed up with the government who's not even looking at it as a problem, forget solving it?
I first compliment you for making an excellent point and making an excellent research, and to your channel, you are bringing in this concept for the first time. I've been speaking on pollution for last 2 months. This is happening because we are not stopping pollution, our bad habits. And I would add to what you have described very correctly that car tires also, when they roll on the road, they bring out those smaller particles which you are talking in a great number. A car tires get worn off by 1.5 kg in 3 years, and one flight takeoff leaves 1 kg of the fine particles, and one landing gives in the air 2 kilos of fine particles that we call less than PM 2.5. So now we are very happy. I'm very happy that we are talking about micro fine particles. You see, air you cannot compartmentalize. Car air, outside the car air, house air, roof air, veranda air, outside the road air. You see, air is a continuous layer. It is a stratosphere, atmosphere. These layers are continuous layers. And I tell you, this is going to be a very big problem for our children who are growing, for our elders who are dying early, both of them. And imagine my 3-year-old daughter.
Well, we really hope.
Yeah.
We really hope the government is listening to all of these, because we are not falling short of air pollution stories and angles and fallouts to really cover here on the program. We really hope when the Parliament is dedicating so much of time to discuss other reforms, why isn't air pollution a priority? And Dr. Wali there and Dr. Sri Krishnan, thank you so much for joining. Sadly, that's all the time we have on the program today. Thanks so much. We'll see you again tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Bye-bye.